Hello everyone, in today's tutorial we're going to be making a snake game using vanilla JavaScript, and the whole concept of this game, or the aim I hope to achieve by the end of this video, is that you have a good understanding of how to use canvas in HTML. So canvas is basically something that you use to draw graphics such as shapes, images and animation using JavaScript. So we're going to do that, and we're going to be able to do the logic for the JavaScript in such a way. We're going to make the snake, we're going to enable the snake to eat the food, and as the snake is eating the food, it gets bigger. So we're also going to be able to add the logic such a way that once the snake eats the wall, the game is over, or once the snake eats himself, the game is over. And we're also going to add a score counter, and more so, we'll just for fun add a dark mode and light mode functionality to our game. So it's going to be really easy and it's going to be nice. By the end of the video, we're also going to deploy it, so you can show to people, you can share to your friends, and it's going to be such an amazing time. So I do implore you to like, share and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as I believe you'll find amazing content here. So with no further ado, let's get started. So I've started this, and we're just going to have a quick demo of how it works. So you can see that I'm eating the snake, and the more food I eat, so to say, we get larger. So if I don't want to end, I'm trying not to lose, so I can show you some of the things that we have here. Okay, so you can see that's a game over. So we're going to be doing that, and we'll have this just one like that. So that's something we're going to do. So let's just get started. So I already have my file opened. Yeah. So let's start with, I'm going to start by explaining the basic principle behind Canvas. So we'll just do something like canvas.html. So we just have a quick idea of how Canvas works. So here's a boilerplate, okay, and I may keep this for now at autosave, because no autosave. Yeah, so I think that would do. So canvas, okay, then I'll just open this in my live server and place it by my side so you can see. Okay, yeah, so we can just quickly get started. So I had mentioned during the introduction that Canvas is just something that you use in HTML to draw your graphics, for graphics, 3D WebGL and all that. So it's just something for drawing in a layman's term. So to just have an quick idea of how this thing works, so create a canvas element and give it an ID. Give it an ID of canvas. Okay, right thereafter I'll give it a width of 400, and right thereafter I'll give it height of 200. So we'll start. So we're not releasing anything yet. So we'll start with do our script tag. We don't need to create an extra one for this. So right here we want to get the canvas element. That's what we want to start by, and we know we are giving it an ID. We are giving an ID of canvas. So I'm just going to do var canvas and get element by ID. That the next is that we want to get the context of the canvas, which will be a 2D context. Okay, and so we're going to do var ctx just means context, but it's just a variable name, so you can interchange it since it's a variable name. So then you get context 2D. Then another thing we want to do is that we would want to set a fill color, and we'll just do ctx dot that means the color will be red. So fill style is something that you use to give the color. So give it the color of red. Then we actually just want to draw a simple rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. That's what we want to do. So right here we'll just do let me just use one that Copilot suggested. So 1010 here means that we're taking it from 1010 means that we're taking it from the 1010 means we're taking it from the origin 1010. Then that's xy. So it's like x 10 is x. The this first 10 is x. This is y. Then this is the width. Okay, so we can just make this 200, and we can just make this 200, and we can just make this 50, and make this 50. So I don't see why we're not getting anything to show. Yeah, so by reloading the page you can see that we have this shown here. So that's basically it. So if you left it at, let's see, if we had left it at 10, okay, let's see what this will happen. So we'll have something smaller. So that's basically how you work with canvas. Just a brief example. So fill style is quite basic. So by the time we start with the main stuff, you're going to have a deeper understanding and deeper exposure to how it works. So next we'll do index.html, where we'll actually start working on our game. Okay, let's start with our boilerplate, and we're going to write here snake game. Okay, then yeah, we'll start with that. Then another thing we'll also do would be start with our title. Okay, and our title, we'll give it an h1 element, and I'm going to write snake game. Okay, I'm going to give it a class of title, and let's put a snake emoji here. Yeah, so open this in our live server to see where we're at. So yeah, we have that. The toggle theme, but I'll probably hold on the toggle theme. Should I add? Okay, let's do that. So let's do something like toggle theme. Yeah, toggle. So then we'll give it a button. We're going to make use of a button, and the button will just be, we're going to give an ID of toggle button. Oh, let's say theme toggle. Yeah, because we're dealing with light screen and dark screen. So give it a class of btn outline dark. So real quick, we're going to make use of bootstrap. So we're going to search for bootstrap bootstrap CDN. Okay, just going to open this for a while, and I'm sure. So on see this too. So okay, we can just copy this. Yeah, we'll just copy this. Oh, let's see it. So this is the bootstrap. Okay, yeah. Let's copy it. I think this is more trusted. So when you only need to include bootstrap compiled with CS or JavaScript, you can use JS deliver. Then set it inside. So I think I'll just go ahead with the first one. That should work. So I think that will be better. So sorry. Yeah, that works. So let's go back, and right at the top here, yeah, so let's forget, let's do a link. We're going to link to our style. So as you can see that Oh, we've not created that. So real quick, we'll create our style.css, then index.js, and yeah, so we just have that. So we'll just quickly link everything together. Yeah, style, yeah, style css. Then just down here, we're going to do our script tag, and let's come out. Do our script tag, and I think just let's use the source, but this will be index. Okay, index.js. So we'll just link that real quick. As you can see, because I'm using Bootstrap, you already have this happening here. So we've given it a bit an outline of dark. So we're going to make use of icon, and we're going to use ionic icons. So just not so we'll just search for ion. I think that's the word, ionic icons. No, ionic ions. Yeah, something like that. So let's go. Let's click on usage. So right there at usage, we're going to look for the okay. First, let's copy this. As you can see, if you're using ionic framework, ionic is packaged by default. So no, place the following script tag near the page, near the end of your page, right before the closing body tag. So we're just going to copy this and follow the instructions as stated. So we're going to right before the closing, so that will be down here. So next, let's look for an icon. As you can see here, we use the like the sun stuff. So we're going to look for sun, click on icons, and we'll search for something like sun. So sun or light. So yeah, so you can just copy this. I think yeah, this is what I used. So once you click on it, it's copied. Then getting back here, we're going to put it in between our button. So I'm just going to quickly format my stuff so it looks better. Yep, it's looking more condensed, but it's all well and good. So we have that set, and just to actually have this habit of opening a lot of tabs, I shouldn't have closed that, but we'll get back to it. Because as you can see, okay, was that fine? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So what we're doing is not responsive. I'm working just majorly on functionality right now, but it's still going to work nonetheless. But it's not responsive. But so let's get the idea first. All right. So we have that. Let's see why. Yeah. So it's there. Next would then let's create our canvas. So let's do one for our score, and we're going to give this an ID of score, and we're going to write 0 because that's what we're starting with. Then we'll start with writing our canvas, and we'll give this an ID of snake canvas. Then thereafter we'll do a width of 400 and height of 400. Okay, then we're going to leave it because we're going to be editing what's inside with JavaScript. So just right below that, we're going to put our button, and the button will give it a class. Sorry, for button, let's give it a class of restart button, and give a button outline dark. And if you're not too clear on Bootstrap, you can just go through it and you have a better understanding. I'm not doing so much on that. Then we'll use an on-click right inside here. So when we click on it, we actually want call a function. So we'll put on click here, and we're going to do windows.location.reload. So it's going to reload everything to the start. So like everything to restart. So right here we'll just write restart, and if you reload that, that's fine. Okay, you can see the button just right here. So we're going to do all the styling, and to make it will make much sense. A footer below the body. Okay, and here in this footer, okay, in the footer we're going to give it a class of footer, and we're going to give it text center, and later on I'll explain what this does. So give this a class of text muted. So that's coming from Bootstrap, and you can take your time to read the um the documentation. So we're going to give this font size of style for it to be small. Yeah, we can just save this. So we can just search it out. What does text muted mean in Bootstrap? Let me ensure that the stuff is recording. Alright, yeah. So it adds used to add a text with a muted effect basically. There's a way you know when something looks muted, so I don't have to explain it, but you go as we go on, you'll see it. So style.css. So let's start styling. Okay, so where did this go to? Okay, so let's style it. So we'll start by actually just getting our body and giving it a background of whitish. So ffd is 7. Okay, and yeah, so give a font family. Give a font family of Courier monospace. That's safe. Then we give it a title. So we're going to style the title now, and I'm just going to use this that's suggested. Am I right? I don't know, I just like playing around with it. So rather than this, I'm going to give mine 1.8 em. I prefer em because it seems to adjust better to, and we can start it off. Let's give it it looks fine like this, like the color. That's cool. So can just leave it like this. I think I like the color. The another thing we'll add will be position absolute. If I have any desire to change, I may change later on, but for now I think I'm cool with that. So let's give it a margin, a top of 0, not 0% now. Then we'll give it a margin left, a margin top of 40 pixels, and a margin left of 40 pixels. So we have that set. So okay, yeah, we did. So another thing we now want to do is now style our snake canvas. So we gave it an ID of snake canvas, so we're going to do that. So we're going to give it a position of absolute 2. Then thereafter I'll give it a top of 50%, and thereafter I'll give it a left of 50%, and thereafter I'll give it a translate of -50%, -50%. So this is kind of center it. Okay, then we're going to start our restart button, and we're going to also give it a position of absolute, and we're going to give it a top of 0 and a right of 0. And top of 0, like it's going to, when you say top of 0, it means you're sapping all the air in quotes that's at the top. So when you say right of 0, you're sapping all the space. Space will be a word. You're sapping all the space by the right of it. You're sapping the space at top of it. So if I probably comment this out and I put something like bottom 0, for example, you see that it's going to go straight down. Yeah. So that's basically what that means. So you'll be adding whatever style you want based on that understanding. So I'm going to give it a margin of 34 pixels, and we're going to do a background. Give a background of about the same color we had used earlier. Then we're going to use display flex, and we're going to give a margin left of about 47.5%. So this is kind of what we have here. So moving on, we want to style our score. So we're going to style our score and give it a text align of center, and give it a font size of 140 pixels, a position of absolute 2, left 0, margin left 70 pixels, and margin top of 30 pixels. So that being said, we'll not then add a styling to our body, and here is where we want to add the dark theme. So we'll just put dark theme, dark theme. So we're going to kind of like, when stuff is toggled, we're going to do some DOM manipulation with JavaScript. So that's when we're going to add this stuff. So that will probably be later on. That's not really a priority now. So I'll prefer this color to be let's say, sorry for this area. So this will be let's do 6 3s. So 3 3 3 3 and FFF, and then 3 3 is okay, still the same thing. So we have just like that'll be implemented later on, as you can see here. Okay, so let's get back to what we're doing. I'll remove this, and maybe I'll keep this here for now. So let's get into the juice of this tutorial. Okay, so we're first going to create a constant, various constant. We'll create one called board underscore border. That's the board border. I'm going to give it a color black, right, black. Then cause background, the board background will be white. The snake color will be orange. As you can change it to any other color that you wish. You can see here the snake color is orange, so we'll do that. Then we'll give the snake color to be the background to be red. Okay, so basically what we first did is to try to define, the various variables, the color variables for the game board and the snake. So then we'll do like an array. So we want to create a snake array that will represent the initial position of the snake body. So then we're going to, when we did this canvas thing, I mentioned that it goes, okay, let me quickly recommend something for you all to use. W3 Studios, let's say W3 Studios, W3 Schools, they also have like a section where you can learn about canvas. So it kind of, and also there's a document on it, so I'm going to put everything, like everything should be there. You can check it out and also read through it for better understanding. So X, Y is for coordinates. So in canvas here where we did 10 10 100 100, so I mentioned that 10 is, this is X, the second 10 is Y, then the first 100 is the width and the second 100 is the height. So that's the format. So it's like, if I put this down, and just let me show you an example of what I mean. So if I put this down, I'm trying to say this here is X, this here is Y, this here is the width, and this here is the height. So I'm just going to comment that out so you guys can, you'll see that when you're looking through the code. So get back to our game, and we'll first set this coordinates, and yeah, so that's what I think we're doing here. All right, so just write down. We also want to we want to keep track of the score. So we're going to say let score is equal to 0. Then we also want to be changing the direction. So we're going to say let changing direction equals false. Okay, so thereafter we're going to want to add an horizontal velocity. That's velocity at which is moving horizontally, like this is horizontal. So
So we're going to say we're going to create these variables. So basically, while food X and food Y will store the position of the food, then we will not do like velocity kind of thing. So we're going to do something like let dy dx equals to 10, and let dy equals to 10 rather. So what we're doing here now is, so the x and the y represent the horizontal and vertical velocities of the snake. So like input and vertical. Okay, so this is let me put it here. So position, this is the position of the food here. So after now we want to actually do like the canvas setup. So as I mentioned earlier, they are just for graphics. So we're going to do get the canvas element. We're going to do const snakeboard is equals to document or get element by id snakeboard. So assuming we gave it a class of snakeboard, we would have said get element by class. But we're talking about id, so we're saying get elements id snakeboard, because that's what we had named. Was it snakeboard we used? So this copilot doesn't suggest was wrong. I really need to be careful. Okay, snake canvas. Thank God we had to cross check that. So please pardon me, it's supposed it ought to be snake canvas. So call this snake canvas. Okay. So let's create a constant, and we'll say snake canvas underscore ctx here. So here we want to use a get context. So get context is a method in JavaScript, such a way you can get the context. The context could be 2D, the context could be 3D, it could be WebGL and all that. So here we're first trying to get the context because we're working with a 2D, like it's just like a rectangle. And we did something like that here too. We did something like that when we were drawing this basic rectangle here. So if we go on now, so the 2D is just the rendering of the canvas because we're just doing something based on 2D. So we'll call some functions that we're going to create later on. We're going to create a main function. We're going to create what that main function will do. Then and what this one will do is that it will start the game loop. So yeah, it will start the game, and then we'll create another function called spawn food. So what this is that it's just going to like put the food at random locations. Let me just put something. Put the food at random locations. Okay, so that's what spawn food is going to do. So it's just going to put the food, like, you know, whenever we're starting a game, the game food is just at any random position. So that's what spawn food will do. And we're also going to create something for that. Then what game based on a response to keyboard you get. So we're responding to the keyboard left, we are going down, up, that kind. So so we're also going to add something that's going to listen for event. And in my last video, we also did something, that drum stuff, we also did something relating to that. So I added an events listener now that's listening for a change of direction. Why is this happening? Why did I do this? So let's see, changing, sorry, this ought to be change direction then. But why am I getting this error? Okay, let's just go on, and if you see any error, we'll probably correct it. So we'll go on. So let's create the main function now. And in this main function, we're going to start with something to check if the game has ended. So we're going to get if as underscore game underscore ended. So that's as underscore game underscore ended. Game ended rather is a function. We're also going to create like a number of functions as we go. So the next thing we're going to do is changing directions equals to false. Okay, so we're using it to prevent rapid change in the direction. So we're doing that by checking if the direction is already in the process of changing before allowing another change. So that's why we're not putting this change direction first. Then we're going to set a timeout. Okay, so we're going to say set timeout function on tick. Okay, careful of this error there. So yeah, so we're going to write we're creating a function. We're going to create a function for an empty board later on. All this we're going to do it. Then we're going to create a function that will make the food. Then after all, we'll create a function that's going to move the snake, and thereafter we'll repeat it. So yeah, call main again. So main, and we're going to give this a time of 0.1 seconds. My battery. So yeah, okay, let's go. I think I set it out. So see, okay. So function function for empty board. Okay. So I'd mentioned earlier, in case you're wondering, because you were saying, so CTX is just like usually referred to as a reference in rendering like the context of like an HTML canvas. So that's what's going to be responsible. So like this empty board function we're creating now is going to be responsible for like clearing the entire canvas and like so that sort of thing. So that kind of thing. So yeah, so we're going to start by saying a snake canvas, the fill style is equals to the board background. So God help us. I'm going to break this down as explicitly as I can. So fill style is used for drawing. Instead of you actually drawing things with your hand, you're going to put this thing in code. So like fill style here was what the color. So yeah, we've said that the fill style. So first we've said that the fill style is equals to the board background that we had mentioned earlier. Then we said the stroke style is equals to the board background that we had mentioned earlier here. Then later I went on to say that the canvas CTX or the fill rect. So what we're trying to say now is that in here, right here, we said we already explained this. So we're also doing the same thing now, in sense that what we're trying to do is actually to draw the board. So we already specified what the snake canvas width would be, and we also specified what the snake canvas height would be. So all that is what we're just trying to like implement in here. So also we now did the stroke rect would be equals to the the ordinates will be x0 y0, then the snake canvas width, and so to buttress what I'm saying, a fill style is like the fill style here is like when you're setting the color. So the fill style of this canvas is the value stored in the board variable that we had done before. So let me explain what I've explained. So the stroke style and the stroke rect. So what the stroke style will do is that it's like a line that says like the stroke style of the canvas context to whatever we had already given it, and we had already given the stroke style here. Yeah. So basically, so what the stroke rect? So rect basically is like rectangle. So it's just used to draw the border of the canvas. So I hope I've been able to convince you, not confuse you. So next we'll do is to actually make a snake. So do conf function name snake, make snake rather. So I want to see if we had done anything. Okay, we didn't do anything regarding make snake. Is that safe? Yeah. So we're supposed to add make snake. Thank God we searched it. I searched it. So we're going to do the function for make snake now. And here was where we'll be doing like the tiny box. So we're going to say snake for each make snake part. So what the make snake function is that is rendering the snake on the canvas. So it's going to iterate through the array of snake parts and like render each of those parts in this make snake function. So okay. Yeah. So let's go on. We're going to continue. So let's do a function, for make food. Then we'll do a function for make snake part. So from the food is just a square, and the snake is accumulation of many squares. So from making food, from by the time we do the make food, you get the concept of the make you get the concept of the make snake rather. So we set the fill style to be light green, set the stroke style to be dark green. Food x, food y, food x and food y, we had declared that initially, and we said they are storing the position of the food. So we have said 10 10, and that's 10 10 is the width and the height. So we also did the stroke rect, which is responsible for the drawing, and we also said that so fill is what you're filling inside. So we also set the stroke rect to be 10 10, and going on, we then want to do the function for the make snake part. Okay, so for the make snake part, we passed in the parameter snake part, and so the way this has been done in such a way that we're making like a 10 by 10 pixel black square, and so that like the coordinates are specified by this dot x dot y. So what you also do is that it will also add a red border around it, as like from here. Okay, so if you go back now, so we did this snake because of snake call, and if you copy this out, if you go back up, you can see that we already specified the snake column to be orange. So next thing is that we did the stroke style, and just to reiterate again, I mentioned that stroke style is like a property that will set the color or gradient or the pattern used for strokes. So when you talk about strokes, you're talking about the thing that you're using to draw. So you see here that the it might not be so bold, but it's like that's what you're using to rush basically. So while the fill rect is what you're using to fill the rectangle. So when we use fill rect as red here, we're filling the rectangle with red. Stroke rect, so you kind of understand the difference between stroke rect and fill rect. So going on, we then did the snake part dot x, and the snake part dot x is one of the things we had already done upward. So yeah, so okay, yeah. So that completes this side. And another remind thing we did here was to call this. So you made this is if as game ended function. So now we'll create the function for as game ended. Okay, so what we want to try and do here is that I want to try and loop through the snake's body structure and check if there's any part of the snake body that's at the same position as the head of the snake. So if that is true, that means that the snake has collided with itself and the game should end. Do you guys understand? So I'll take that again. So what we want to do now in this function is that we want to loop through the snake's body structure and check if any of the part of the snake's body has the same position as the head. So if is in the same position as the head, that means that like the snail is eating himself. So that means that it has collided with itself and the game should end. So should we trust this thing? So I think it's right. So first thing we did now is that we said let's we're using a for loop. So we're saying let's, because when we're starting with this stuff, we're starting with 4. So we're iterating with, let I equals 4. Then we're iterating through the snake's length, and the iteration is increasing. So that's why you have the I plus plus. So we're making a constant for collided. So I want to be very careful here, because we're going to be doing a little bit of delicate work here. So what I will do rather is that, okay, instead of this, we're going to do something really similar to this, but not to give edit. So we're going to say, let's take this as this is the head and this is the tail. Yet, so we're saying that it should check for these things if they're true. So this stands for any part of the body. This stands for any part of the body. So what we're saying is that if any part of the body is at the same position like with the head, and if any part of the body is also at the same position with the snake, with the tail, it means that there's been a collision. So it should return true. So that's a condition for when the game ends. Also, if some way somehow the snake hits the left wall, the game ends. If it hits the right wall, the game has also ended. If it hits the top wall, the game has also ended. And if it hits the bottom wall, the game has also ended. So yeah, we're manipulating with the width and we're manipulating with the bottom. Okay, so and the thing is that we're starting the coordinates from 0 0, and that means that when you're, should I use a paint draw now? We're starting with 0 0. So in sense that when you're, this is the coordinates, so this is like x. Yeah, I'm still in school, so this is y. So this is like 0. So anything past here is -1. Yeah, it's minus. Then anything here is positive. Okay, so anything here is negative. So we're saying that if it gets to anything minus, that's why we use less than 0. So that means if it's coming anything minus, probably eating is like, for example, for the for the top one now, we put as less than 0. So you guys hear what I'm trying to say. So if it hits the left wall, or if it hits the right wall, or if it hits top wall, or if it hits the bottom wall, the game has ended. So that's one thing for that. So moving on, what we're going to do now is that we want to create a function for random food. So we're going to create a function for random food, and here we're making use of math or random. Okay. So I want to create a function for random food, and so we pass in the parameters min and max. So this function basically is what we're going to use for creating function for random food. Then if we also want to create a function for spam food, which is just going to place the food at just when you just like put it at any place. So what we'll do now is that the food x, the position of the food x, we're calling this random food function that we are created here. So we're we're calling it here. I mentioned that we're passing in the parameters. So the basic JavaScript math.random, just pick anything at random from the word math.random. So yeah, we passed min and max, and then what we want to do now is that we want to calculate the range of numbers between the mean and the maximum. So what this would do now would be that it would ensure that it gives a random number within any range that we specify. Okay, so what mapped to round, which is that it will round the number to a specified to the nearest integer. Okay, so this in general just ensure that the result of whatever we're getting is in multiples of 10 of our specified range. Okay, so then we have created a small food function in which we're going to call the random food function severally, and we're going to put passing mean and max parameters. So 0 year stamp is the mean and year is for the max. And we had already assigned, like I mentioned, we had assigned food X and food Y as the position of it. So what we want to do is to generate random assign the thing to random coordinates to in the stuff. So then this snake for each, what it should do is that it's going to it's going to through let's look through what we're trying to do. So what's going to do that is going to check if the current part of the snake has the same coordinate as the newly generated food. That's the food position of food X and food Y. So then if the case snake has eaten the food, that means like the condition is true. So if the condition is true, it means that the snake has eaten that food. So then the spawn food again is positioned to call. The spawn food function is called again to put the food at a random place. So let's just quickly do this demo again. So you can see here that once the snake eats the food, once it eats it, want to put it at my goodness, want to put it at a random position again. So that's what we're trying. That's what the spawn food is doing. So let's put it at a random position again. To a random position again once the food is eaten. So what is going to here? So let's go back. So you can see that with every restart, it's being taken to a different position. So that's what this is doing. So the next thing we'll then do would be to change the direction based on whatever keyboard event we're doing. So we're creating a function change direction that we had passed into the events listener before. Okay. Here we have const left key is equals to 37, right key is equals to let's see. So you might be lost that what is the meaning of this. So what we're first trying to do is that we're trying to assign like key codes for the left arrow, the right arrow, the up arrow, the down arrow, like on the keyboard. So so these key codes are used to like identify which arrow key has been pressed, basically, because we're going to be working with arrow keys. So next thing we're going to do now is that we're trying to look for we want to check like if it's actually changing direction. So we want to do something like that. So as you can see that we had already created something about changing direction before. So and we are set it to false. So what the changing direction here would be that is it's checking if the direction is changing. Okay, so now if it is true that the direction is changing, it means that the snake is already in the process of changing, and so we're returning this early so that so like we can like avoid changing the direction immediately again. We'll now try and do that. Okay, after checking if the direction has to change, what I want to do now is that I want to like indicate the direction. So we're going to do something like changing direction is equals to true. So what that will do is that here we had checked if the direction as can be changed. And why we check if it can be changed? Because if the game is over, that means the direction cannot be changed. So now we're checking after checking that the direction can be changed. We want to indicate that the direction is currently in the process of changing. Then after that, we're going to do another code that actually capture each of the key code. Then we're going to create a constant for when the the pin is going up, when the we're clicking, when we click the up key, the down key, the side and all that. So we're just going to do that, and you see, you understand better when we start. We also do it. So I had mentioned that now we're also we're going to do this. Then we're going to call function for when the key is pressed. Also we're doing that for the key code. Okay, then we're going to create a constant for when it's going up. So -10 means that it is going upwards, as you can see. Let me take the way. So yes, so going up, as you can see, you see. Okay, so -10 means it's going up. Okay, then we'll create another constant that for going down, which is 10. Then we're going to do another constant for going right, to be dx. Dx is like horizontal, you get 10. So that means it's going right. Next one will be for that which is going left. So now when I want to do create various conditions for when each key is pressed. So I'm going to say if, so now we'll say if the key pressed equals to the left key, that means you should not go to the right. So this exclamation mark is like not. So we're saying that if the key presses the left key, don't go to the right. And this here indicates that you're going to the left, the -10. And the y is equal to 0 means like there's no vertical movement. The next thing we'll now also do would be if the key pressed is the up key, it means that you're not going down. So that means you're only moving vertically, so the x is even set to 0. Then the y then is now set to -10, meaning that you're going up. So we'll continue like that, and we're doing that for the right key too, and we're also going to do that for the down key too. So after that, we now want to move the snake. So create a function for move snake. And in this function, we're going to create a constant head. Okay, and we're going to say, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do I'm going to explain all this. We're going to do snake dot on sheet head. Then we're going to check as the snake eating the food, and we're going to put this too. I'm going to explain it again. So then if the snake has eaten the food, we're going to do like an increment score. So we're going to add +1 to score. So a score will be equal to +1. If you want to be incrementing it by 2, then want to like display the score on the screen. So thereafter, you can see we're seeing some changes. So thereafter, we want to do another thing in such a way we're going to get the elements of the ID score, and we're going to like generate new food location randomly. Okay, and we're going to call the spawn food function. Then we'll create an else statement such that we want to remove the last part of the snake body. So we're going to do snake.pop, in which I'll explain to later. As you can see, we kind of have a snake functioning now. So our snake game is ready. Okay, the last thing we would want to do now would be that we would want to what's this? It's not eating it. Eat it. Okay, I think we can end it. So this functionality, yeah. So let's like do this. This yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So let's add a toggle button. So okay, so right before we go into the toggle, I had mentioned that I was going to explain most of the jargons done here. So what needs to do with that? On this line here, we're calculating the new position of the snake. So once calculate the new position of the snake's head after a move. So what we now want to do is that after I calculate this, I want to create a new JavaScript object which would be head. So this X property here would be the new will be the new like head property, and that will be set to the current position X of the snake's head, like as the snake is moving. So and this is the current position as the snake is moving. Okay, so we're not adding that to the horizontal velocity, that's the X of the snake. All right, so that will determine like how much the head will move horizontally. So we're doing the same thing here. So we're doing something similar down here. Okay, that's the same thing this will do here too. So this y property here is like the property of new head. So it sets this will not set the property to the current position plus the vertical velocity. So this one is determining how much the snake will move vertically. Okay, so then going forward you see something like snake dot on shift head. So that might look so weird. So what this is going to do that, okay, we're adding the new head object to the beginning of the snake array. So that will like effectively like move the snake's head to a new position. So let's see if we can start. So it's going to like be moving the snake's head to a new position. Okay, so the on shift is also a method in JavaScript that is used to add like an element to the front of an array. So and it's going to be pushing the other previous ones back, and it's going to be also extending the snake like bit by bit, like by like one square as it's going on. So that's also what we're trying to do. So next thing now is that we're creating a constant as eating food, because you know as the snake has eaten food, the length is increasing. Okay, so it's checking that okay as the snake eating food. So once it checks that the snake has eaten food, the snake shouldn't be in that same like position, so to say. So it's going to check the snake's head, and the snake's head is like the current position of the snake's head. And then if both x and y, like if both the position of x and y, if both the position of like this, if both the position of x is the same position as the food, it means that the snake has eaten the food. So if this two is the same as, and if this two is the same as the position of the food, why? It means that the snake has eaten the food. Then we now want to create, okay, after the snake has eaten the food, we need to like randomly spawn the food to another position. So this is what this is going to do. This is quite easy. So it's going to just check. So once the snake has eaten the food, we're going to increase the score by 1, and then we're going to get the document the ID of the score, and that's what we're manifesting it with the DOM, and then we're going to like implement a new score, and we're going to call the function that we're going to like randomly place the food again. So you might be wondering what pop here is. So pop is a method also in JavaScript that you know it will it works such a way that it's going to simulate the snake's movement by removing like the last part of his body. So it's kind of making it shorter as it moves. So that's basically what this is doing. So let's just quickly go onto the toggle as we wrap up. So let's create a function called function toggle theme. Okay, and we're going to do a constant of body because we're going to be toggling something that has to do with body. So that because document dot the body. Don't need to like stress much about it. So next we're going to do a body, and we're going to target the class list. I'm going to give it a toggle dark theme. So what this we're trying to just add or remove the CSS dark theme, the CSS class. So and also we can also want to we're also going to like add a local storage. So this might not be in the scope of what I did, but we have session storage and we have local storage. So local storage works within how do I put it now? So local storage works like, for example, if I take, let's try it and see if it's gonna work out. So you might understand. Okay. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to open like in Chrome, and so you kind of get what I'm trying to say. So choose this. So between local storage and session storage, there's one that works between, like, it handles your session. So as long as you're still logged in, it's going to be working. So you don't have to keep like putting this stuff again. So what to do would be that. So what would be that? What could happen would be that I think if I'm working with like a login screen or something, I might be able to explain better. What a local storage will do is that it can, like, the session, like a session storage, like once you're done with the screen it goes. But local storage is like seems more like lasts longer than a session storage. You can set it up and like have a better understanding of it. So we can also add like a local storage here. So we're going to do local storage dot set item. I don't think we don't need all this. Okay. I'm going to do local storage and we're going to do I'm trying to see my own code and compare to the suggestion that this guy gave. I mean the copilot. So we're setting the dark theme. So we're going to say is dark theme. Is dark theme. Okay. So that's that. Then right below here we're going to check if the user is actually currently using the dark theme or the light theme. So we're going to check if the user is currently using the dark theme. So we're going to say the constant of the stored theme. So is equals to local get. So we're trying to get the theme. So then we're going to say if the stored theme is true, like if the actual stored theme is the dark one is true, we're then going to like call the toggle theme function. Okay, then we want to add an events listener for the when we click on the button. So we're going to say the const theme toggle button. So we want to get element the query selector theme toggle. I think we named it what did we use here now? We used was it okay, we gave him a theme toggle. Yeah, we gave him the ID of theme toggle. So we're going to come here and say get element by ID theme toggle. And we're going to say if the theme toggle button, anything, so we're going to pass in like the theme toggle button. So we're adding an event listener for the click and we're going to like call the theme toggle. So why this error? Okay, yeah, so it's safer. So that works. So yeah, so that works. So we can start the game and let's refresh the page and we just like let's play the game. So to wrap this up, we're going to deploy this website. Let's deploy it so like you can share it to your friends and everybody can have a good time. All right. So I think I'll prefer to use Chrome for this one. So let's close other tabs, and I'm going to be making use of Netlify to upload the game. So let's go to Netlify. Okay, I shouldn't do this. So let's just do app.netlify.com. Do I still remember my stuff? I don't know. Some okay, this is it. So if you don't have an account, just create an account, and yeah. So we're working with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, no big deal. So yeah, we're going to get the folder. We're just going to drag and drop basically. So should be somewhere here. Yeah. So I'm going to click on add new sites. Click on deploy manually, and then we're going to drop. So you can just come here and maybe click on view in file explorer. But the thing with this, if you want this to work, is that for now I would delete the canvas. I'm going to put the code back in the updated version. You're going to see the canvas HTML, but we're not using it here, so I won't like be putting it, just so because I don't like fly can be funny sometimes. So let me just copy it so that I will not forget to implement it in the code. So I'm going to delete this for now. Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, so you have to save your file as index.html. So we can view this in okay, you can just go to where you had created your file. I created mine. Yeah, so we can just drag and drop this. So it's a drag and drop thing, so I'm just going to drag and drop it here. So we're going to wait. So let's wait for the meantime. I don't think, okay, oh wow, that was fast. I thought I was going to be trying to say a number of things. So let's open production, deploy, and oops, it work. Yeah, so it's working. So our website has been officially deployed. So what we'll do now would be like, we're going to come back here and we're going to we can rename this. You get, we can put it to a preferable a more preferred name. Okay, let's look at site overview. Okay, so I think we should be able to see it here. Site configuration, site name. Yeah, so click on site name, change site name, and I'm just going to put snake game tutorial. So you have that. So we're going to save that, and hopefully nobody has the name already. So yeah, we got the name. So basically we have our site ready now. So that brings us to the end of this tutorial. So please, if you know you've enjoyed whatever we've done, I know it was not video, this was before. So if you know you've enjoyed whatever I've done so far, please do ensure to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as I believe you find a lot of amazing content and interesting stuff. So let me know if you like the idea of actually taking time to try and work on some JavaScript games and just learning a number of things about JavaScript. So feel free to play around with this, put in your portfolio, share with friends, just have fun with it. And till next time, please may you share, like, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. So I think that's all for now. Kudos. I'm rooting for you to meet again. And in favor of Suicide Awareness Month, I just want to say that no matter what you're going through, no matter what has happened, sometimes it feels like you deserve not to be here. It feels like you shouldn't be here. But I just want to send this encouragement to somebody out there that is struggling deeply to get up every day, struggling deeply to remain here. No, life might have seem really harsh, but I want to tell you something. It might not make sense as I'm saying it, because if anybody told me the same thing too, it does never make sense. But I want you to hold on to the fact that something that there's purpose in the pain, and that this too shall pass. And that if you also want, if you look for someone to talk to, I I don't, you can send me. I think my email should be, yeah. Um send me an email or anything. I'll be available and we could talk to. And if you're in Nigeria, um money is like an emergency stuff. So yeah, I think that wraps this up. So have a good time programming.